Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hello and welcome to Halftime Report. It's 12 noon. We're halfway through the trading session. I am Reema Tendulkar. With me is Nigel D'Souza. For the markets, we've come off from the high point of the day, as you can see on your screen. So the Nifty is lost in excess of close to about 50 points from the top, dipped into the red. So the last 10 minutes, things seem to have stabilized, but we're flatlining on both the indices. I guess caution is seeping in, one, because the SkyMet has now lowered its projection for the monsoon for the full year. They're now projecting monsoon to be only 92% of the long period average. I guess earlier they had indicated it will be at 100% or between 95 to 105%. Apart from that, I guess there is an expectation that the cost of borrowing is going to get dearer or more expensive if the RBI goes ahead and raises rates. And if it does indeed increase rates by 25 basis points, it will be since October of 2013 that the central bank has hiked rates consecutively or twice in a row. So focus will also be squarely on that.
Couple of managements then. Jayshree, well, they came out with the 7 numbers. The numbers look quite good actually on a year-on-year basis. The revenues are up by close to around 20%. The margins as well improved on that front. To understand what's going on in the tea space and what's the outlook for the remainder of this year, we have Mr. Maheshwari, the MD and CEO of the company, who joins us on the phone line. Hi, Mr. Maheshwari. Thanks so much, sir, for joining in. 20% is the growth on the top line. If you can split that up for us, was it more volumes? Was it more pricing? And give us a sense of what kind of volume outlook you have for FY19.
Sir, both. Actually, volume also is more, sell volume is more. Our production also is high, total production is high, and prices also are high.
Okay.
And if you ask me for the outlook for the total year, the industry, plantation industry as a whole, actually is facing very challenging times with the cost increasing and overall average prices remaining almost static for last 4 or 5 years.
Right.
But if you talk to my company, we had been, investing very heavily in development work in the last 6 to 8 years.
Okay.
And that is bearing fruits now. So crop also is better. And our main advantage is in the quality front, where we are producing very good quality in every
So
area where...
Absolutely. Mr. Maheshwari, we are aware of that. You have told us numerous times that the quality that you're producing is, is a higher grade. But if you can give us a sense, as you said, 20% was the total sales in rupees terms growth, right, in the first quarter on a year-on-year basis.
Yeah.
So was it 10% because of volume, 10% because of realization? How do we split that top line growth up for, for all of you?
I would say realization is around 5% more. And balance is because of the overall quantity being more than last year.
Okay.
And for the future, first I must tell you the challenges. Recently, the wages in Assam as well as in West Bengal, which covers Dwars and Darjeeling, have been increased with a very steep increase. And, it works out in West Bengal, it works out to 22%. In Assam, it is even more than that. So, thing is that with that overall and prices not improving in general. Overall, the industry is facing very challenging times. But my own company, all our gardens are doing very well because of the development work taken up in last earlier 5-6 years.
Mr. Maheshwari, sorry to interrupt, but for this quarter, if you could tell us the breakup between the domestic as well as the export market and the growth rates that you had for the domestic sector as well as in the international markets?
Ma'am, for the last year, our total overall export was 92 crore. Okay. And in that proportion, this quarter, my export is almost 25 crores. So I'm expecting to go up to 100 crores this year. Okay. And price levels, the margin levels are not very high there. It is more or less same like last year. Quarterly, if I see my tea trading departments, export departments profits, these are more or less same. It is in the garden section, plantation section, where last year my profit was 4.76 crore, which has gone up to 8.80 crore, in spite of the increases in wages which has taken place from 1st of April.
All right, Mr. Mr. Maheshwari, so you said that you're expecting to do tea exports of around 100 crores, right, for this year?
Yes.
And that will be 25% of your total revenues?
Around 20%, because
20%.
yeah, around that much.
So for the year on the whole, sir, what kind of revenue number are you looking at?
For the this 100 crore what I am telling is for the full year.
Correct.
Full
So
year I will get 100 crore rupees export.
Absolutely.
And my total overall, see, last year it was 579 crore, which will increase to around 610 or 615 crore total.
Okay, 610 to 615 crore, which includes 100 crore of exports for the full year, that's FY19.
Yes.
Mr. Maheshwari, you indicated that the company has been investing very heavily in the last few years. Could you outline the investment that you've already made and then the investment that you have planned going ahead, and how will it be funded?
See, it works out to almost 5 rupees a kilo. And since I produce my own tea around 2 million, that means every year 10 crore rupees we have been investing in development work, which is mainly consolidation, uprooting, replanting the better variety of tea, which will increase the quality profile as well as crop. And this is normally taken up by other gardens also, but we had been very, very regular about it. And this is what is bringing the fruits.
all right, Mr. Maheshwari, I remember the last time you joined us, you had explained to us the deficit that exists in our country and as well as internationally. If you could update those deficit numbers for us.
Sir, as I told you earlier on, the figures up to May end is out.
Yeah.
And India is behind by 15 million kilograms in production.
Okay.
June, as per our information, though the official figures are not out yet, around 10 million more will lose. So 25 million will be the shortage
in the domestic market, right?
In the domestic market. In domestic market.
International.
And if you take the yearly increase of around 30-35 million, another 17 million extra demand. So total shortage by ending June will be around 40 million kilogram domestically, which will augur well for the prices in the balance part of the year. As far as internationally, the Kenya's production is higher by a big margin. Around 40% it is higher than last year. Last year was a bad year for Kenya. So to that extent, you see, internationally also prices, demand is coming around 2% growth is there every year. So 60-70 million kilogram additional demand is created. India alone is creating 35 million kilograms.
All right. Mr. Maheshwari, very quickly, if you could tell us, are you expecting any sort of an impact or hit to your labor on account of the fact that in the draft NRC, nearly 40 lakh people were left out in Assam?
No, madam.
It's not affecting you all at all. None of your employees.
All our workers are 100% NRC compliant.
Okay, all right.
That much I do.
Okay,
because they are there for generations.
Okay.
No new workers are coming.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Maheshwari. That's Jayshree Tea guiding for 610 to 615 crore of revenues going ahead. On to a CNBC TV18 exclusive. Then we learn from sources that Hindustan Copper is seeking a cabinet nod to raise 1,200 crore rupees via a QIP. Anshu Sharma on the phone line with more details. Anshu?
That's right, Reema. Hindustan Copper has a plan for expansion for about 5,500 crore, and we understand from sources that today cabinet nod is being sought for an in-principle nod for raising 1,200 crore via QIP. So the QIP issue will be for 15% additional equity, and this will lead to government shareholding decline to 66.05% from current 76.05%. This expansion plan, the company plans that it will fund expansion plan for about 2,400 crore via debt and about 2,000 crore via internal accruals. Currently, stock price QIP could raise about 900 crore. And please remember, this is not disinvestment, as no money will come to government, and government shareholding will get diluted in the process. Back to you.
Any idea, Anshu, who's going to be putting in this money? Because, otherwise, if I look at the shareholding, the insurance companies have nearly around 14% in the company. The government has 76%. So more than 90% is with both these two entities. And if I look at it, in the past, the kind of dilution that has been done, the Hindustan Copper share price, you know, it was at around 155 at that point of time. There was some sale of around 5.5%. Even in August 2017, at that point of time, they sold close to around 4% at around 65 rupees approximately. So any kind of, you know, investor that we know that is likely to come in, or have they sounded off institutions and they have said that yes, there is enough demand to raise this kind of money, because the profitability last year as well is what, less than 100 crores, and we're talking about a 5,500 crore market cap.
So as of now, in principle, nod is being sought from cabinet by the government for Hindustan Copper. The procedures will continue once the in principle nod is there. So any discussion on institutional investor is not done with the government or the company as of now. But as the procedure starts, those decisions will be taken by the company itself. And this is primarily to expand its expansion and cater to 30% of copper market domestically. Right now, Hindustan Copper caters to 5% of the market. So this basically means that fundraising and internal accrual and debt funding for expansion will lead to Hindustan Copper cater to a bigger market domestically.
Okay, interesting, Anshu, you know, because I'm looking at the kind of fundraising that has been done in the past couple of years. It's only the insurance company, it's only LIC that's come in there and picked up whatever stake the government has sold. Now, in fact, they're saying, no, the government, no money will go to the government of India. But otherwise, if you look at the financials, Hindustan Copper for the last year, they gave a profit of less than 100 crores. The current market capitalization of the company is nearly around 5,800 crores approximately. So what kind of number can they do? Can they do 200, 300 crores, or still, in fact, you know, valuation wise, I'm wondering what kind of, you know, who would come in there and who would put in money at these kind of valuations. In the last few years, they have sold stake numerous times, from around 155 rupees in 2012 all the way to around 65 rupees in 2017. And every year, 2016, they sold some stake at around 62 rupees, that's 7% stake. And August 2017 as well, they sold nearly around 5% stake at around 64.75 rupees.
So roughly where the stock
is at that point of time.
So basically, all the people who invested, which is your LIC and the likes, invested last year or the year before that, haven't made any money.
You know, LIC and some of these insurance companies, in June 2016, they held 5% in the company. Today, they hold really around 14% in the company. So whatever has been sold basically has been picked up by institutions itself. So let's see where this goes. But Anshu will come to us with more details, you know, in the next hour or so. We'll slip into a short break. You come back. Snowman Logistics, they posted a rather good set of numbers. We'll get chatting with the management on the other side of this break. Welcome back. Then, as promised, let's get chatting with the management of Snowman Logistics. They posted a rather good set of numbers at the end of the first quarter. The company posted a profit versus a loss. Further, in fact, the margins have also improved quite significantly in the past quarter. To understand whether or not this performance is sustainable, we're joined by Mr. Sundar, the CFO of the company. Hi, Mr. Sundar. Thanks so much, sir, for joining in. Well, you said the last time you joined us that you're aiming at it, you know, being a profitable year for you, and you've started off on the good note. Is this sort of a performance sustainable?
Yeah, it's definitely sustainable. Normally in our business, Q1 is the weakest quarter.
Okay.
So we have started on a good note.
Okay.
We have improvements on all the fronts, revenue as well as the margins. And we are very confident that this will improve from here.
Okay. What is the extent of improvement? And if you could just help us with some sort of a guidance for the full year on your revenues, margins, and even on the profitability?
Profitability, all I can say at this moment is we are definitely aiming to be PAT positive.
Okay.
In the year on PAT positive. And on the sales front, at least 15% growth over the previous year.
Okay. And any indication on the guidance? At least in FY18, you had EBITDA margins of nearly 23%. Will there be an improvement, and what will aid it?
So FY 17-18 Q1, we were at 24% EBITDA margin. And this is the warehousing, which is our core business. And we are already at 33%. So that's a big improvement in terms of margins.
Okay.
And the reason for this is our contracts are normally an annual contract which kicks off in April. So we have managed to get good price hikes in most of the cases.
Okay.
So from here on, we definitely will be seeing a improvement on the margin front also.
Interesting. In terms of warehousing, sir, you were telling us that the first quarter is the weakest, right? Is what you said?
Yeah.
So you have done 8 crores of an EBIT in this quarter. Can we work with around 8 to 10 crores on a quarterly basis?
Yeah, definitely.
Every quarter. All right.
Yes.
And what about the debt in your books? If you could help us out, what's the updated number? What was it 1 year ago?
Currently, debt is 119 crores.
Has it reduced?
119 crores, and the comparative number was 138 crores the previous quarter, previous year.
So you'll have
quarter.
So you'll have paid back roughly 20 crores.
Yeah, we have paid back, but quite possible to fund our expansion. We may be going in for more debt.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what is the total amount that you've outlined for your capex or expansion, and what is the amount of debt you're comfortable taking?
We are very lowly geared. We are less than 0.3 currently.
Okay.
And up to 0.5, we don't see any problem. So we should be around 200 crores of debt by the end of the year.
200 crores. Okay.
200 crores. All right. Final question, Mr. Sundar. I remember you were talking to us about IKEA a couple of quarters back. You know, you had got into a tie-up out there. What's the visibility out there? Have you got some orders? If you could give us some numbers.
So IKEA is going to start their first store next week at Hyderabad.
Okay.
And they have, we cannot share too many details without their permission, but we handle the complete back end as far as their food requirements are concerned.
Okay, so you're the only logistics partner for food for IKEA?
For food, we are the only logistics partner, yes.
Okay, and how big could be the potential opportunity?
So what we are looking at is 3 years down the line, IKEA should be one of the top 5 customers of ours.
And but you all would have done some, rough working, right, sir? What could that number be approximately?
So the only number I can share is current year, the top, since there's only one one store which is going to be operated immediately, at least a revenue of around 2 crores from that. To start with.
Okay. All right. We wait for IKEA's expansion as well, especially to the city of Mumbai. Thank you, Mr. Sundar, for joining in. So that's Snowman Logistics. Very confident about, posting a profit for the full year in FY19. And they're also looking at some expansion plans. So that could push up their debt to 200 crores by the end of this year versus 119. IKEA, it will perhaps be a big deal, but right now not for this year in FY19. Could just contribute close to about 2 crores. Get into a break then. On the other side, Ashwini Gujral, Sandeep Wagle. Join in next.